Welcome back to the Hustle Unfiltered podcast hosted by Kayla Serta and Jackson Mansudi,
where we dive into raw, unfiltered conversations about training, health, and fitness while navigating the challenges of life and business in our 20s.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. Hi,
Hello,
Dr. Nick.
princess.
Hello, princess. Care for a glass of wine? Okay. What's doing?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like a G6.
Like a G6.
What's happening? How's training? Give us a little bit of an update.
I'm 5 days deep into prep and so far it's a slay.
Have you seen the video on Instagram? Someone, like a girl made it. She's like a prep coach. And she's like, first 5 weeks into prep. And it's like a scene from The Office. And it's like telling everyone like,
I think I've seen it. I've seen a meme like that, but it's like goes through all like
all the phases. And then by the end of it, it's like, oh God, no, stop, please stop.
Yeah, no, we're definitely at like the
good phase.
The good phase.
You're going to let everyone know I'm in prep.
Yeah, like, you know, food has been slay. I haven't been hungry. I feel great. Like, I don't feel like how I felt for the last 3 weeks before this. And that was just like a slob.
I'm stealing some of your
just
water.
Eating so much food. But I feel really good. Training has been fine. This is actually the last week of the program that I've been currently on. So just been pushing it where I can. Haven't seen much difference really in energy yet. Like, it's the first week of lower food. It's really not that deep. And we have discovered that I think I'm actually stronger when I'm dieting anyway. So
yeah, I do kind of find that weird, but also at the same time, I don't, because I'm pretty sure there's like a level of body fat where you just function at your best. I think everyone's got that. For me, it's just I got to be heavier.
Yeah, I think it's for lower body in particular, I find it's just my stomach gets in the way of a lot of things. And that discomfort of like, I feel like a bit bloated. There's a little bit of food in my system. I feel like I'm about to shit myself all the time. That's where I feel uncomfortable in a build.
Yeah, for me, it's like so I just wrapped up 12 weeks of building, obviously. And that 7 to 10 weeks is probably where I'm just like making the most gains because I'm at my strongest. Like, press the most amount of weight. Obviously, legs are my strongest part. So I'm like squatting the most amount of weight. Like, that's where I'm just like constantly at this position where I'm just continuing to progress in training.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely more at the back end of the higher body fat levels, but just before you spill over and start feeling like a slob.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But no, it's been good. Start a new program next week. We'll keep you updated with how prep's going, but so far so good.
Does the training change at all?
My training has changed slightly for the next block. I'm not hinging at all in my next training block. And just more so like the type of exercises that I'll be doing as I get deeper into prep, a lot less stability exercises, heavier exercises as well. So moving on to more of like the machine-based stuff, more dumbbell stuff where it's not like I'm not holding 90 kilos in my hands while I'm 45 kilos.
Well, look, the reason for that, right, is that as your diet progresses and your overall body mass gets lower, your ability to handle higher demands of fatigue in training is going to be less. Less fuel in the fuel tank means less ability to push on those more external stabilizing movements, right?
Yeah.
So just like kind of preparing for that as well.
Yeah. But the same intention still goes into it with training, still going into it with the mindset of pushing myself, you know, not just because I'm eating less food doesn't mean I stop doing what built the muscle in the first place, you know.
100%.
Still training close to failure, taking movements to failure, making sure I'm still eating before my sessions as well. Like, that's been the highest priority when I did work out my nutrition for the lower cals, is like, how can I make sure I'm eating enough before I go train? And it means I'm eating less at dinner time, like, so be it, because I don't need fucking food to go to bed.
Yeah. I think that changes as you progress, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, well, for now, like, I know just mentally I need to eat before I train. Like,
yeah, that's numero uno.
And even in that, my schedule, okay, I can eat breakfast before I train.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just making sure that's worked. But that's my little update.
As much as we try not to line up our competitions, we always end up dieting at the same time. So I've started a mini cut. But
one person can't be shredded without the other.
Yeah, but I'm literally mini cutting for like 4 weeks, and that's.
And then you're going back into a build anyway. But maybe do a mini cut when I'm like close to
I probably will need to because like I think we've now established. So my coach and I, which is our coach, have decided that 12 weeks is the maximum like I should push for because anything more than that, I just get over it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't become productive and you're going to have to diet that off on the other end anyway. So for me, it's like I'll do another, what will be a total of 8 weeks of not pushing for the next 8 weeks. And then we'll be pushing again, which we're in May now? June. So towards back end of June. So it'll be July, August, September. And then
How long are you mini cutting for?
Well, I mean, I'll push until from July, August, September.
Yeah, but your mini cut will end in June.
Yeah, but then I'll just be on maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Health phase.
Slay.
And then...
What, July, August, September?
Yeah.
And then mini cut.
And then mini cut. Maybe we'll do a bit of a proper diet for summer.
We'll be shredded together.
Yeah, so we can be lean summer together.
Yeah.
And while everyone's got back from Europe and they're fat and slobby, we'll be looking fucking mint, absolutely diced. Being like, yeah, this is what you get for staying home.
They'll be tanned and fat. We'll be pale and shredded.
So we get fake tans.
Go to Sully.
Get some melanotan.
Yeah. Done.
Well, yeah, that's an update from me. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything else that needs to be updated.
Nah, we're locked in.
We're just
mini cut and prepping.
Topic of today that we wanted to get to was a bit more different. I feel like we've really spoken about like a lot of mindset, a lot of like business, a lot of relationships, like all that stuff, which is like really important. But like want to get more into the weeds of what we actually do.
Yeah.
And what we are known for, which is being coaches and talking about training, talking about nutrition, specifically more nutrition today. I guess like the first thing that I wanted to address, which you can kick us off with, is more so just like, what are the major differences between doing a build and then doing a cut? Obviously, like if you follow us and you're either a client of Kayla's or mine, you obviously know the differences, but it's always good to lay it out.
Yeah, so when you are looking at your physique development or where you want to go in terms of your goals, you can break it up into specific phases. And that basically, you got a fat loss phase, you got a maintenance phase, you got a build phase. And in the beginner stages of your training sort of journey, you may potentially be able to get away with kind of doing both at the same time, get a lot of newbie gains. But for the most part, you're all probably not in that phase anymore. So it's really important to start looking at how can we split that up to actually make the most of each phase. So with a fat loss phase, obviously the goal is to lose body fat and to reveal a physique that's leaner, shredded, more defined. And then we've got a build phase, which is a dedicated phase to putting on more muscle, to, gain some weight, to actually build the physique that at the end of the day is what you're going to reveal if you do a fat loss phase. And I think either or is going to be the first option for anyone. Like there's no like you must do this first. For some people it might look like, okay, you actually need to lose some body fat first to be able to put yourself in a good position to do a build. And then vice versa, it might be like you've been trying to diet your whole life, you actually have fuck all muscle, you should be in a build phase.
Do you find that there's like more of a specific one that at least the girls that you coach need more of? Because I know there is for me as the guys.
Look, I'd say it's definitely a 50-50 split, but I'd say for the most part, like a build.
It's funny because I think guys need the same.
Yeah.
Like I think most people, when they think of their goal physique, like they imagine more muscle, but they believe that they need less body fat to achieve it.
Yeah, you can't see more muscle with less body fat if you've never actually spent the time building muscle to see that with less body fat.
All right, well then let's play that out. Say someone comes to you, like we'll do the male for me, the girl for you, and they present to you as someone who needs more muscle. They're not overweight, they're not like shredded. What do you do?
Look, I'd probably put them at maintenance first and see how they go, because again, up until that point, it's like, what have they been doing up until then? And this has been very common for a lot of the girls that have just started recently. It's like, have they been following a training program consistently? Do they know how to train hard? Because they might not need neither or, but they need to actually train hard first to be able to get the benefits of the build phase. So I think it's important to know kind of the starting point in all areas, because if you put someone in a build phase but they don't know how to train hard, the likelihood of them just getting fat is going to be much higher. So I would start them at maintenance and reassess the training first.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing, and then I'd just probably see like it's funny because I find that one of the things that is the most interesting is that most, at least guys that I train, don't know how to actually eat enough, or their like basal metabolic calories or their total calorie intake is not where it should be.
Yeah.
Like I think most guys who weigh at least from 70 to 80 to 85 kilos should be able to eat at least around 2,800 calories to 3,000
Yeah.
to maintain body weight.
I'd say for a girl, that'd be around 2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, like at least like 60.
And I got a lot of guys that come to me and I give them 2,500 calories and they struggle to eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that tells me that you just are not where things need to be. And it's like, take out the physique goal. It's like, but if we want to build muscle, like, or sorry, if we want to lose body fat, I need to drop your calories pretty low.
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's obviously context dependent. But I think you should at least try to build the calories up first.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not in a particular position where you got a lot of body fat anyway.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's if you're like in a very, like, you know, not even overweight, but just like sloppy, maybe you don't actually like how you look, and the likelihood of adding more body fat alongside the muscle is going to cause more of a distress, then it's like, okay, lose a little bit of extra body fat, then go into the build.
Yeah, 100%.
Creates a little bit more buy-in as well.
Yeah. I think, you know, the maintenance phase is really useful though, because I find that whether they've followed a program before, like that newbie recomp phase will kind of take its toll. Like they'll lose a bit of body fat, they'll build a bit of muscle, and then you're probably in a really good position to either go either way.
Yeah.
But I do find, just like from a client psychology point of view as well, like they like the fat loss phase first.
Yeah, yeah, because it gives them something tangible and like a result straight away. It's like, okay, I can see something is working, but I think also sticking it out and just trusting that, okay, I've tried doing that up until that point, nothing's fucking worked. Give eating a little bit more a crack.
Yeah, I mean, like we've obviously both been on those journeys where we've had to push a build phase to a bit of an uncomfortable state. But it's so true, because it's just not as validating as dieting.
Yeah.
Dieting, you see the changes every week. You see the new lines on almost a daily basis towards the back end. It's like, it's so rewarding, but at the same time, it's like what's more rewarding is doing the 8 to 9 months of work. Yeah. And then dieting and unveiling a completely different physique. Yeah.
Yeah. I think building is harder than dieting.
100%.
Like, because you have to trust a lot of that delayed gratification with it. It's like fat loss, you see a scale change, you see a line come through, you see your photos change, you know, you get hungry, you're like, oh yeah, like it's working. But with a build, and when you're pursuing growth and to change your actual physique, it's like you have to be in it for the long haul. You cannot expect to see that change happen within 4 weeks.
And it's like, I know the thought process behind that too is that people will see themselves get bigger and will they be like, am I building muscle or am I just getting bigger?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, yeah, there's more glycogen in the muscles. You're probably holding a little bit more weight in general, just from food volume and water, and overall just like eating more. And so you're probably sitting there questioning, it's like, oh, my glutes bigger, or am I just heavier?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you have to be okay with, because it is more muscle, provided that you're doing all the right things with that as well.
Yeah.
You know, eating the right amount of foods and whatnot. But it can be intimidating and, as you said, very delayed gratification. But if you are someone who wants to, you know, really transform how they look, I mean, like, look at you over the last few years. You know, when I first met you, it's like, yeah, you had big legs. You had all those things, but the structure and the shape that you have now has changed so much. And I think that's a hard thing to almost like promise as well, because you can't sell structure and shape. Yeah. You can sell like body weight tangibles, like, you know, lose 5 kilos, build 3 kilos of lean body mass. But it's like, what the fuck does that look like? Yeah.
And it's going to look different every time as well. Because I like this build compared to the first build I did with Jason, like I look so different.
Yeah.
And like my food was higher this time. Yeah. Training was harder this time. Did more this time. And it's like, I wouldn't know that this would be possible if I also did go through the uncomfortable phase first.
Yeah.
I mean, you get better with it over time.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit off topic, but like, ideally, how long would you actually say it would to transform from, let's say, like that person, person we just described before, to like, let's say you now?
It's like, give yourself like, at the absolute minimum, a year. But I reckon at least 2 years.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, say, build, cut. Because that would have been me. Well, I did a cut after I put on some weight. I did a build for a year, and then I did a cut last year. And then I've done another build. Like, I'd be happy maintaining where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And that's been a 2-year process.
Yeah, I would agree. Just because, like, I think people really underestimate the amount of time it takes to build muscle, especially, like, naturally.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult, but it's like, if you really want that physique that you came to the person for, you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we're just sold, like, this short-term.
Yeah, it's the marketing for it. Because, like, if I said to someone, like, hey, it's going to take you 2 years to get to where you want to be, like, it's true and it's realistic, but, like, that's going to shut them down very fucking hard. But if we say, you know, in 12 weeks' time, we can get you to this point, but then in the next 12 weeks' time, we'll get to this point. Then the next 12 weeks is going to be this point. Like, it's easier to break it up. But I think where a lot of people go wrong on social media or with these challenges and all these sorts of things is, like, it's not selling the after. You're just getting that 12 weeks. So they think that's all it's going to take. It's like, no, it's going to take that like 6 times.
Yeah, and it's like, if you look at the 2-year period that we just spoke about and you break that up into, okay, you're going to build for this long, you're going to cut for this long, you're going to build for this long, you're going to cut for this, you're like, well, that's pretty doable.
Yeah. But people waste their time doing 3 back-to-back fat loss challenges. To look the same probably for the last 2 challenges when they could have just split it up like that.
Yeah.
And actually looked different at the end of that, whatever the math is.
Yeah. And then, like, in terms of, I guess, if we've obviously differentiated that, if you're dieting, the difference is that you're losing body fat, obviously retaining muscle. Like, you're not really building muscle in that time.
No.
Whereas, like, if you're building, you're obviously going in with the intention of building actual muscle mass, like, to your frame. How do you eat differently for either? So let's say, like, dieting.
The eating doesn't change in terms of types of food. Like, the food will still stay the same. You still want to be eating enough protein, carbs, fats, micronutrients. Just the amounts of it will change. And I think that's where a lot of people can go wrong when they look at a fat loss phase and a build phase. It's like, okay, I need to eat this way to lose fat and I need to eat this way to build muscle. It's like, really, your base diet's going to stay the same. The amount of food is going to change. And if you want to talk about flexible dieting or you want to incorporate more flexibility, a build phase gives you that allowance to do so, but doesn't mean you start eating like a child in it. Because that same thing, it's like, oh, when I'm dieting, I eat really clean, I feel good, all these things. And then when I go into build phase, I feel like shit. And it's probably because you've changed the way you eat on each phase.
I mean, I know for us, like, we really eat the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's use you as an example now. What has really changed in your diet?
I've cut out a lot of, like, more processed stuff. So, like, I'm not having crumpets. I'm not really having any, like, extra chocolates or things like that.
Yeah.
The bagels, no pasta. And it's not because there's anything wrong with that, but when I'm looking at, it's very much like budgeting with your money. It's like, okay, you know, I could get X amount of energy, macros, hit all these things with this food versus this food, I'm not going to get half as much. So I'm just looking at, okay, the types of food that I'm eating, how am I going to get more out of this for what I need right now? So I was eating pasta for dinner every night in my build. That meal alone is half the calories I'm on right now. So I'm not fucking keeping that in. So it's like, okay, dinner is now potatoes, salad, and meat.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was pasta, salad, and tuna.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same, there's still the same 3 things. It's just the type of food has changed. And that's that.
Yeah, no, it's the same for me. Like, I mean, I've obviously just like this week I've experimented with some different like meals and stuff, but which I think is always good to experiment with different things and see if it fits with you. But like for me, it's like I still have chicken and rice for lunch. I still have oats for breakfast. I still have steak or some sort of meat for with some sort of carb, being potatoes, or now it's potatoes and before it was pasta as well. And then I'll have the Ninja Creamy, and instead of having chocolate and Biscoff I'm
Yeah.
having just chocolate.
Yeah, instead of me having 30 grams of Biscoff, I'm having 10.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, right? It's like you still want to obviously incorporate some foods that you enjoy into your diet right now because you have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
And the cost of that is not taking anything off your ability to perform, your ability to feel somewhat full.
Yeah.
And it's still a way for you to have some longevity in the diet, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're building, it's like, you know, as you mentioned, you're having a few of those extra snacks here and there, but they're not at the cost of you losing the quality of your food throughout the
No.
day. Like you're still getting all your micronutrients in, you're still getting fruit in, you're still getting majority high protein from whole foods
Yeah.
and carbohydrates from whole foods. Like processed, it's like, yeah, pasta, but it's like you're fucking having
A
whole meal pasta and like rice.
Girl's digestion was really good.
Yeah, it's like rice is still really important. And now that you mentioned digestion, I think digestion in the build phase is where so many people go wrong.
Yeah, and that's what I've done wrong in the past. Like I would eat more. I wouldn't even look at my fiber, but I just like eat what I need. But it's like, okay, I could just get the protein pasta, for example, like the white pasta. But I was like, no, this girl needs fiber. Like I'm not getting enough fiber in. Switch it to whole meal.
Yeah, I've made that mistake so many times as well. It's like, obviously we joke about my diet and how boring it is, but it's like, I will rather now in the build, instead of having cereal, I'm going to go for cream of rice.
Yeah.
Only because like it's rice flour. It's literally just rice blended into a flour, a powder, and I will digest that 10 times better. Therefore, I will be able to be in this build for longer. It's like, I know for a fact, you know, guys don't come to me as much with their digestive issues because they're probably too proud to admit it. But I know when a guy's like adherence drops off, it's probably because they're unable to stomach the food.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about this enough. It's like if you're going to the toilet 5 times a day in a build, something is fucking wrong. And if you're bloated, as you said, during your session, again, like there's obviously a meal timing issue there, or there's an issue with the foods that you're eating. And most of the time people will give up on their build, not because they are actually fat, but because they feel fat. And that's a byproduct of your inability to choose foods that digest well.
Yeah. Not only that though, that on like a daily basis, but also on a weekly, fortnightly basis, how frequently you're having meals out because you are in a build. Like even the last 3 weeks, obviously we had Easter, we had birthdays, and we knew this, we understood the consequences of this, but how bloated, puffy, and just like shit I felt, not because my body did not change, really, logically it didn't change, but I felt like shit after eating all those foods.
100%.
And doing that on a frequent basis, if you are in a build phase, you are going to shoot yourself in the foot and call it quits so soon than you could, because you're like, I feel like shit, I look like shit, blah, 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 this build phase is not doing its thing, like fucking run away to a mini cart. It's like, no, you've just eaten shit. You have not eaten food that's going to digest well. You haven't eaten food that's giving you the energy or the nutrients your body requires to be able to put the food to use in your training sessions, with your energy, all those sorts of things. So I think it's important to, on a daily basis, yes, look at that, but also like how frequently are you eating meals that don't agree with you?
Yeah, because it'll turn that 12 to 14 week projected timeline of building into 8 weeks because you just chose to be a little bit more flexible with your food. It's like, yes, building is the time to be more flexible, but it's like when we look at our flexibility, it's like we still ate chocolate every day. We still were able to incorporate foods like Biscoff that we enjoy, which is fine because we're having them in amounts that were easy to digest.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're eating out and you're going to have like, you know, the Easter time was perfect. It's like, obviously, again, we knew the consequences of that, but the density of oils in that food, the friedness of it, the level of fats in each food, because you're not having like grilled chicken breast, you're having deep fried chicken with breadcrumbs in it, an egg. It's like, okay, now just because I can be more flexible doesn't mean you need to take it so far. And again, it's like, do you want to get jacked? Do you want to transform your physique? Or do you just want to pretend that you're able to do this and then, as you said, shoot yourself in the foot and then get halfway through a build, say, oh, I'm fat. It's like, no, you just chose the wrong fucking foods.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we that's the thing, like we still ate fun foods.
I think it's interesting because I think just people get very, like, people see food as this massive thing, and like I absolutely have. Like, don't get me wrong, food has been an emotional comfort throughout my life, all these sorts of things, but like at the end of the day, food is just food. Like, It's just there.
Yeah.
And it provides our body with things for us to do, like energy, the nutrients for all these sorts of things, like fun foods and not so fun foods. Like it's not like true.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just like if you look at it like anything else, right? It's like if you too much of something is never good.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between that, and it's like if you're constantly having fun foods, they're no longer fun.
No.
It takes away the fun experience. It's like, you know, if you're doing the same thing every single day, it's like when you start a new job or you buy a new car, whatever. It's like the second you buy that new car, it could be a shit box, be like, it's a new car, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then after 3 months, you're like, fuck, it's just a car.
Yeah. But I think even with that, like, we incorporated like a meal out every single week to keep some variety, and it allowed us to have like a date night and connect with my family, with your family, that sort of stuff. But like even in that, just because we had a meal out doesn't mean all the other foods were really boring and like bland and we were fiending for that meal out. It's like we still ate the foods that are quote unquote unfun, but we still made it taste the way that we like. We still cooked in a way that we like. So when it came to that meal out, we're not like, I've been deprived of all this flavor and like funness all week. Now I'm going to eat everything in front of me.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just like, cool, variety. I haven't had salmon all week. Now I'm going to eat a bit of salmon. Like, cool.
Yeah, like my clients always say to me, like, can I have this? And I'm like, yeah, bro, you can. But just don't have it every fucking day.
Yeah.
You know, or it's like, is this, you know, I always say you don't need to eat like me because like I know the way I eat is very like, practical and it's just like not like ideal for some people.
Yeah.
But if you want to have pasta, if you want to have a pasta sauce for dinner and you have the ability to do so, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to make salmon and you want to do, yeah, go for it. Make it fit. As long as it's cooked in a healthy manner, you're not fucking deep frying it.
Yeah.
You're not like, because let's be real, everyone, you know, there's been a trend in nutrition where it's like, this is going to kill you, like deep fry this. It's like, we know that just eating deep fried foods or heavily processed foods frequently is not good for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, take that away and look at it from a fundamental level. It's like, still just eat quote unquote healthier food, whole foods. That's how the base of your diet should look. And then if you can fit in the fun stuff, go for it.
Yeah.
I guess the other question I had for you was like, I had it written down here just so I don't forget, but what are the pros and cons of either?
Let's do a build first. Okay. I'd say the pros to a build is, actually, let's do with the shit stuff first and then like we'll go with the
cons.
Let's go with the cons. I'd say the cons is it is uncomfortable, but it's a different kind of uncomfortable where you can't see the changes happening. So you just have to trust that this uncomfortability is good. It's working. I'd say like it is uncomfortable. It obviously is a slower process. So you have to practice patience. Whether these are actual cons or not, probably, but still. I'd say that's probably really it.
I say another con is the level of planning that actually has to go into a build.
Yeah.
That people don't understand.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you're a guy or even a girl and you're eating the most amount of food that you've ever eaten before, so let's say as a girl, 2,500 calories, as a guy, 3,000+ calories, like anything above, I feel like 3, you have to be very conscious of when you're eating your meals.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, I missed a meal, I get to eat 2. That sounds like a great idea.
It's not.
It's not fun.
No.
It's not fun.
Not even
at
for
all.
a girl.
Yeah. So it's like, you need to understand that you need to be conscious of when you're having your meals, whether that means for a guy every 3 hours. That's difficult.
Yeah.
There's a level of planning that needs to go into that. You can't just be like, oh, I'll go to the servo and grab this, or I'll go to Woolies and grab some bread and some chicken and throw a sandwich together. It's like, yeah, maybe every now and then you can get away with that. But like, if you do that on a daily basis, I can guarantee you will burn out very fucking quick.
Yeah. Would you add anything else to that? Planning?
The planning aspect,
patience,
the uncomfortability of it.
Uncomfortability.
And then I'd probably say, this is not for everyone, and there are some ways to work around it, but like training on a fuller stomach.
Yeah.
Because like I know some people really hate that.
I'd say that's me.
Yeah.
So for me, training in the morning after one meal, like or one snack, that's a good. If I was to train in the afternoon, being in a build, hard no.
Yeah.
Hard no.
Yeah. But the pros of it, I would say, is like obviously you're strong as fuck.
Yeah.
But then the con of that is that you have to push that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't utilize the extra energy that's there, it's like this is when we fall into the cracks of like, oh, like I'm not getting stronger or I'm feeling fat because
Yeah.
it's like you're not utilizing that extra energy there.
Mm-hmm.
The other pros is that like you have the flexibility.
Yeah. You can have a bit more of a life. Like it's like, okay, we have more of the date nights, you know, if mum wants us over for dinner, we'll go have dinner. Like we can make that work a lot more. Again, we're not abusing it, but you get to enjoy the life as well.
Yeah.
I'd say another pro is, this is from my journey, and I know some of the girls could relate to this as well, or maybe resonate with this, but I find it's healed my relationship with my food.
Yeah.
I don't see food as good or bad. I don't see food as a restriction or something I can have only right now because I've eaten more food. I'm like, okay, if I want to eat that, I can eat that next week. Like, it's fine. Or more food necessarily isn't bad because I've seen the pros of eating more. And if I didn't eat more food for the last however many months, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now.
I'll tell you the other pro of it is the hormone side of things.
Yeah.
Like you're just at a healthier level of hormones. Like I know for a fact, you know, libido's a little bit higher when I got more food in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, energy getting out of bed's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like I don't get as tired as much. Like all that sort of stuff. Like I find the just overall feeling of having more food in my system, I feel like better functioning, brain function. I'm a bit more quick thinking on my feet.
Better
at work,
energy throughout the day.
I concentrate for longer.
Yeah.
Like all those sort of things. But yeah, I'd say those are the biggest pros. And I think you really have to lean into those in the build because sometimes the emotion side of things, when the con of it of feeling uncomfortable in your stomach, can outweigh those pros if you're not conscious of it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, the clothes fit a little bit tight, but at the same time, like, I want to grow. That's a pro. I am stronger in the gym. Pro. Feel better. Pro. Like, there's so much more to it when you zoom out rather than just how you feel in that very, very moment.
Yeah, I say another con is like the time aspect of things.
Yeah.
Like it just takes a lot longer than a diet.
Yeah. And then I'd say another pro to that, though, you learn a lot about yourself and your ability to actually pursue goals like this.
Yeah, to show up when there's no like instant gratification.
Yeah. And like, you know, there's not people there being like, oh, you look so shredded or you look so lean.
Yeah,
like,
you're not as validated.
You're not validated in a build. So you have to very much, this gives you the opportunity to show up for yourself, even if no one else gives a fuck.
Yeah, you just got a coach telling you you're doing good.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like sometimes not almost like enough for you because before you were just like getting all these compliments left, right,
Yeah.
center.
And it's like your coach is like, oh yeah, of course we're going to say I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. When it's the reality is it's like wait till you do this again in terms of the diet and then really see the compliments come through.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
pros outweigh the cons.
Yeah, you just got to really lean into them and you got to be willing to show up when there's not so much external validation and you got to give yourself that internal validation that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard. Like I want to preface it by saying it is hard.
Yeah. And like you aren't alone in the feeling of discomfort during a build. Like you are not unique for the fact that you feel uncomfortable. We all feel it.
Yeah. And I think it's also just having trust, knowing that you know how to fucking diet. You're going to lose it.
Yeah.
Like all you got to do is turn the calorie dial down, increase the output a little bit and you lose it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's
not a forever thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of dieting. So obviously
it's the opposite.
Yeah, I think there's actually, you know, almost more cons than there is pros. But the pros are so heavy.
Yeah.
In terms of the weight they carry, no pun intended. So it's like almost like, oh yeah, I want to diet. But you go.
Cons, I'd say energy or like overall hormones now goes to the other end of the spectrum. Low energy, low libido, very, very poor focus or can be very poor focus. Ability to stay like locked in on certain tasks, things like that.
This is long term as well. Like you probably won't find these straight away.
Be probably in like the last like 2 to 4 weeks of a deficit, depending on how long you're dieting for.
Yeah, yeah.
And how deep you're dieting for. But I'd say like from a hormone perspective, there's that. Obviously there is the hunger element, which whether that's a pro or a con, like I'd say it's more so a con if people can't hold that level of discomfort of being hungry and thinking it's a bad thing.
Yeah, people really think it's a bad thing.
Like realistically, like people have fasted for 72 hours and they're still kicking.
Good point.
Well, probably. Like, wouldn't recommend doing that, but like, if you don't eat for another hour because you're stuck in traffic or like you don't need to go fucking to the servo.
Yeah.
So I'd say that can be a con for some people. Clothes start to feel too loose.
Yeah, I know for me,
You need another wardrobe.
as a guy, it's very much like the skinny feeling starts kicking in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't fill out my t-shirt like how I used to. And, you know, I feel like really small. And when I take my shirt off, I don't feel big and full. Like, I know that really affects some guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other con is the social aspect of things. Less
social, there's more
flexibility.
sacrifices,
Yeah.
less flexibility. You're going to expect, or you can expect more scrutiny, opinions, outsider perspectives from whether they're the people that you want to listen to or not. You're going to expect that more, you know, being around certain people. I had another con in my head, ability to lose strength or not feel as, I guess, strong in your sessions. Is that an entry point for you to not show up and still push in your session? No, but like you can expect to see dips in strength.
Yeah, and I would say the head noise that comes with that as well. Like the head noise in your sessions is higher because you're like, there's more doubt because you don't feel as strong.
Yeah.
So your ability to show up and do that is going to be hindered because you think you're not as strong when I know in reality, when I was doing my prep and when past moments that I've died, it's just like, the strength is there. You just got to work harder to find it.
Yeah. You've really got to carry some demons with you to fight it. That's for sure.
But look, the pros are big as well. It's like, you know, you take your shirt off and you look significantly different. You know, there's more lines. The physique show is accentuated a lot more. The compliments are there.
You'll see more muscle as well. Like, especially on the back end of a build, even though in my experience, like my upper body doesn't look as like there's that much muscle at the end of a build. But then when I did a fat loss phase, I was like, wow, we've got lots of muscle. So that's kind of cool. Pros to it too. I'd say another sense of accomplishment with that, because it's like, cool, I'm doing this and I'm seeing the results show, like, fucking oath, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, and even though like to a back end of a diet, the hormones may be down, but I would say you definitely feel more attractive when you're leaner. Like you walk around and you take your shirt off and you're like, fuck, I'm pretty fucking sexy. It's true. Like no one wants to like talk about that, but it's like
I agree.
When you're a girl and you have a bikini on and you got some abs showing and you got some separation in the lower body and the back looks pretty good, or you're a guy and it's like you got some abs showing, you know, the chest looks separated, the arms have separation. You're like, well, fuck, man. Like if I was to take my clothes off for my girlfriend or, you know, at a beach club or something, you'd feel pretty fucking confident.
Yeah, you're not second guessing, should I take this off? It's like, I want everyone to fucking see how it looks right now.
Yeah, like, exactly.
I'll say my first photo shoot, I literally did it on the side of the road in the middle of Tamarama Beach. Yeah. And that's because I looked the best I ever had.
Yeah, I mean, look, that summer that I met you, it was like very much peak confidence, Jackson. So it's like, you know, there's definitely that aspect of things.
I mean, our first date was at the beach.
Yeah, and it was like, there was no doubt that we both wanted and happy to be there because we knew we were impressing each other.
Yeah. It's funny.
So yeah, those are some pretty big pros. And that's what I mean. It's like the cons are very much unspoken of until you're there, but the pros do very much carry that weight. Yeah. But yeah. So like, I think if you're someone listening to this and you're really not sure like what to do, and if you're hearing this and you're saying, fuck, one really sounds better than the other, they're not. Yeah. There's no one that's better than the other. They're both necessary at different points.
They both serve a purpose. And whether that's, okay, you actually lack the muscle, it's like, yeah, the building muscle is going to be the first thing you do.
And you need to do both. Yeah. Like you can't just do one. No. Well, I mean, you can, but like you'll be very unhappy with how you look.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like we've been sold the dream that like, okay, you just need one build or you just need one fat loss phase. It's like for some people, if that's the look that they're after, then yeah. But I feel like for a lot of people that are listening and that, you know, that either follow us or coach with us, it's like, you know, they expect a lot from themselves because they know they can.
And there's a very limited genetic amount of pool of people that will be able to do one fat loss phase and really look different. Yeah. It's very rare.
And I think with that as well, they might have seen that and think, oh, they've done it, so it's only take one for me. It's like, yeah, your genetics might not be that strong, but I also don't think that should limit you from giving it a fucking crack.
Yeah.
I thought genetically I'd never be in this position.
Yeah.
I just literally did not give it a crack.
Yeah.
Long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
here we
too.
are. Here we are.
100%. Yeah, that's pretty good. Shall we do the wrap up light note?
Yeah, what do you have for us today?
I haven't actually prepared too much, but let me think of something on the fly. Is there anything in the gym that you've seen this week that kind of ticked you off?
That ticked me off. People leaving their towels on the machines when they're literally nowhere inside. Like, I had to do upper body I did upper body on Tuesday, and there was a towel on a machine. So I was like, okay, I'm going to let them do their thing, and I'm going to go to my next exercise. And it was still there, did not see a person around. Maybe they forgot the towel, fine, but like, don't.
Yeah.
Grab your towel after you go and leave.
You know what I've been seeing that I really hate in the gym?
What?
People who wear Crocs or sandals in the gym. Like training in them.
I have not seen that.
I've seen it a few times, especially if it's first. I saw it a lot.
I feel like it depends on the gym. Like at Pato, I could understand that because it's not a busy gym. Like I think I've probably walked around in sandals a few times or like barefoot.
Yeah, but I feel like barefoot's a little bit
Or like
different.
socks,
Because if you're doing like leg press or
Yes,
you do split squats, like I can justify that.
Yeah.
But if you're like literally training in fucking sandals or Crocs, I'm just like, bro, like not even just from like a fashion perspective, but like a safety perspective.
Yeah, you're not meant to take your shoes off in the gym, and I'm there walking around with my feet.
If you're doing it for a set or two or like 3 sets for that movement, but then like put them the fuck back.
I try and like keep myself in the same spot the whole time.
Yeah.
So one, I'm not
walking
around and they can't see my feet.
Yeah.
So they can see it's like, I'm doing leg press. I'm going to take my shoes off.
And then I said, the other thing, I mean, we can call this gym expert. It's like, if you make eye contact with someone, fucking say hello.
I don't think you need to say hello. I think you can just give them a little smile.
Yeah, or just like acknowledge. Yeah.
Acknowledge. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, we'll wrap up there because I really got to pee.
Okay. Thanks for listening, guys.
That was
Hope you
fun.
enjoyed. If you did have any feedback on this episode, please let us know.
Yes.
And we'll see you in the next one.